The TO-55 is an 8.0 premium, retailing at a hefty 8380 GE, but on sale, it's honestly well worth the price if you enjoy 8.0 Soviet or if you're just looking for a mid-range premium for grinding. Like most Soviet mediums, it has a really good armor for its BR range and a solid gun without any true substantial weaknesses unlike other nations. All in all, it's more or less just a T-55A at a lower BR, and it doesn't have the dart. Compared to the same BR T-54 1951, it's a great upgrade in all regards, with its largest improvement being a two-plane stabilizer at 8.0, which is pretty rare on mediums in this range. The only nation that comes to mind that has it is the British, and they have their own problems. On firepower, it is literally just a T-55A's gun minus the dart. In reality, because it's 0.3 BR lower at 8.0, this isn't an issue. I only load APHE on my TO-55, and I basically never run into something I can't pen. And if you do run into something you can't pen, you usually have the time to aim to actually hit the weak spot, so you'll be fine. That two-plane stabilizer is very powerful. It's very handy because it gives you reactionary capability. Obviously, if you're on the move, you can just shoot something that you see. You don't have to wait for the gun to stop, or if something pulls out in front of you, you can just fire. It gives you a lot of reaction capability, especially because of all the light tanks and SBA running around in this range right now. And it's very, very useful. The other mediums suffer in other nations, whereas the TO-55 just does a good job. It's super easy to play on the whole. Luckily, the APHE shell is more than capable in this BR range. It only really suffers at long range, which you probably won't get into thanks to War Thunder's map design, or against very select heavies. The only tanks you'll really run into issue with are some of the really late heavies in this range. Other than that, you should be fine as long as you know where to shoot. 100 grams of filler on the shell means you pretty much just one-shot whatever you pen. But even though I don't, you still can run the APDS through the Heat FS if you want to have the pen. I wouldn't carry more than like 3 to 5 shells of each, just because this tank has a small ammunition capacity on the whole. But if you think you really need the pen, you can run either the Sabo or the Heat FS. I don't think it's necessary, but you're welcome to. Now, the whole outstanding gimmick of the TO-55 is the flamethrower. Like all other flamethrowers in War Thunder, it is completely useless. It just doesn't do anything. You would only ever damage things that are open top, and if you're that close to something open top, you're either A, dead, or B, you can already just kill the thing. It's just a quirk. It doesn't do anything. It does mean, because the flamethrower is here, you lose the coaxial turret, you lose the coaxial MG that would be on the T-55, and you only have 7 rounds in the ready rack compared to 20 in the T-55A. This isn't really a loss. You still have the 12-7 on the roof, which just punches through light targets with no issues. And if you're dumping more than 7 rounds back to back to back in this thing, I don't know what to tell you, man. You're either having a god game or you're really, really bad at aiming. It shouldn't be an issue.
Nice. That felt good.
The armor is standard Soviet 8.0. You'll get nuked by ATGMs or any Heat FS or just darts if you get up-tiered. But against other APHE shells or in a down tier or with luck, our favorite, it is resilient enough. Obviously, it's not like heavy tier reliability, but it bounces. It feels good in the range. It does let you make mistakes, which is probably the biggest advantage it has. It's a very friendly tank to play on the whole. Anything that pens you will kill you because the crew is so cramped, but it's not something you really have to worry about, to be honest. If you're going to get penned, you're probably going to die. The flamethrower does occasionally eat shots, which is funny when it happens. You just kind of laugh and shoot back at the moron. Sometimes it will also just consume a shell that does pen and only kill the loader. So, you know, the flamethrower is actually kind of useful in a weird way because it has armor fuckery. Like optics, it has armor fuckery. It has the same armor layout as literally every other Russian medium between 3.0 and 9.0. Like, I don't know what else I can say. It's a standard Soviet medium. Like, what am I going to tell you? The mobility is bang standard for the tier. It's whatever. The lightweight and improved engine does give you an acceleration boost compared to most other mediums here, but the gearing just sucks. You top out at 50 kmh, and the actual gear ratios themselves are just kind of in inconvenient points. So it feels standard. You do get ESS, which is something I've literally never used, and you get a smoke shell, which you can just shoot the guy instead of smoking him. I don't understand why you'd ever run the smoke shell, but if you like that, you like that, I guess. Crew skills are just the standard medium ones. You just go leadership, targeting, field repair. Weapon reloading is up to you. It is obviously beneficial here. The tank is hand-loaded. But given that all of the higher-tier Soviet tanks have autoloaders, I just find it more worthwhile to put the points elsewhere. You can, like, don't get me wrong, obviously it's an upgrade, but because those are relatively wasted points once you get into the higher tanks, I don't put points to weapon reloading, or at least it's a very low priority skill, but you can. Field repair is particularly useful. You will lose tracks from time to time, or the barrel, or the breach, because the breach inside the turret is fucking massive. So having field repair is very, very useful. Range finding is, of course, fine if you don't have the feel of the gun, or you just don't have eyeballs. You know, it's a fine skill. All in all, it is just a good premium. It is arguably pay to win, because it is a direct upgrade to the tech tree T-54 in 1941. It is literally an upgrade. It has the 2-plane stabilizer, it has a better engine. It is an upgrade, for all intents and purposes. I wouldn't call it OP, it's just a good, consistent tank. It's easy to play, and it doesn't suffer from high-tier premium issues, you know, like the entire team vaporizing as soon as you enter an engagement. It's a nice tank to grind with. It's very comfortable to grind with, and I think that's its largest advantage over other tanks in the range, especially compared to the similar 8.0 Object 120. The TO-55 is just super comfortable to play. It's super easy to grind with. And it has a decent lineup. I mean, 8.0 Soviets isn't amazing, but you get the BMP-1, the Object 906, and the T-54 here, and you do get the decent AA options in the NSA and the Shilka. It does pair excellently with the MiG-15 BIS-ish to have a strong cast plane as well, which is nice, because then you get a premium 8.0 cast plane and a premium 8.0 tank. In fact, sometimes they get bundled together in one of those promo bundles when you open the game. That's how I got mine. It's an easy recommendation if you just want to play Soviets, or if you just enjoy the absolute peak that is early Cold War gameplay.